13 is on your side.
Welcome back to Evening Plus. I don't know about you, but I graduated from high school and then about 4 years later graduated from college with my bachelor's degree. But can you imagine walking across two stages back to back pretty much? That's what one Grand Rapids student here in our area was able to recently accomplish. Yeah, her high school diploma and her bachelor's degree pretty much all in one swoop. Joining us here now in studio is Savannah Remijn from Grand Rapids and Felicia Hope, the Assistant Director at High School Admissions at Davenport University. Guys, thanks so much for being here. We're going to talk all about this program with you, Felicia, but Savannah, let's talk about this because, and I'm sure you've heard this a billion times, but this is pretty crazy and an incredible accomplishment. So congratulations, first and foremost. Tell us a little bit about what this experience was like for you and just how it was possible.
Well, to start, it was possible through a family who was very committed to helping me succeed. A lot of online classes and scheduling help from Felicia. A lot of, planning from my mom, my dad, my siblings were all supportive. It was a group effort for sure.
Yeah.
And it was also such a positive experience. A lot of people were concerned that it might be too much initially. And sometimes I was concerned that it was too much.
Yeah, sure.
But I think every college student feels that way at some point.
Yeah.
They're like, wow, exams, so many classes, like, I can't do this. Everybody has that feeling. But overall, it was such a positive experience. I love doing it.
Yeah, and the way that this was possible was through the dual enrollment program at Davenport University. Felicia, tell us just a little bit. We're going to talk more about it in a moment, but how does this work? You think, oh, was she taking both sets of classes at the same time? And, that's not really the case. That's hence the dual enrollment piece. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so it's really going to vary a lot based on how far you are throughout your high school and how many electives you might have left. And with that, a lot of schools will allow you to either come in late or leave early if you're taking dual enrollment classes. So that way you're not overwhelmed. You're only doing maybe 4 classes instead of 6, however your high school is set up. And then you can do one college class each semester. But we do have quite a few students who've just been really ahead of the game and are really focused on double counting as much as possible. So when in high school you have to take a math or an English, if you're taking a college math or English, that can cover both. And so there's a lot of ways to double count too.
Yeah, super cool. And Savannah, you were in what's considered a homeschool co-op program on the high school side. Tell us a little bit about that experience, just because I know some people are wondering, like, oh my gosh, she must have been doing schoolwork all the time and not had a life in any other way. And that really was not the case for you.
That's very true. I think it was a big misconception. Oh, she does school all the time. Yeah, I studied a lot, but I like to study. I also was able to attend sports games with my friends. My best friend and I, we went to prom together. We went to, school dances, school events. There was all types of stuff that we were able to do through the homeschool co-op, which enabled us to have what some might call a normal high school experience in the sense of social events and that type of thing.
Yeah, and we've been showing the pictures here. So you had that typical high school diploma walk across the stage, but then also for Davenport. I mean, when you had both of those diplomas physically in your hand, earlier this summer, what was that like for you?
It was great, honestly. I'm still waiting for my official diploma.
but once you have both, you'll be like, oh my goodness.
When I get that, I'm gonna be like, oh yes, like we're legit, baby. Not actually. I love walking across the stage too, but I don't know. It's such a neat experience, and it was kind of funny because I walked across my college graduation stage first, so I technically graduated college first.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, and Felicia, for other students and families who are hearing about Savannah's incredible journey, hers is especially impressive, but at least getting a jump start on college classes is very possible here in the state of Michigan and through Davenport.
Yeah, definitely. Dual enrollment in general seems to be at a huge increase lately, which is amazing. But with that, even just getting a couple of classes under your belt, I really push students to look into it, because that freshman year, you're normally taking 5 classes per semester. If you can drop that down to just 4, that's a point in your life where you're doing a lot of adjustments. It's new classroom, it's new instruction style, it's new classmates. You might be living in a completely new town or city. And so having a little bit more of that work-life balance, or if you're an athlete, I will look at students too and just say, if you could do 4, hypothetically, your entire season, all 4 falls or winters, whatever sport you play, you could do 1 less class then and have a little bit more time to be able to do your trainings and games and not have to worry quite as much about that additional class.
Yeah, and I think I totally remember, being a freshman in college and living away from home and dealing with so much, and yeah, maybe having one less class could be super helpful, just in getting ahead a little bit. Savannah, let's talk a little bit about what is kind of next for you, because, okay, you've got your college degree, but you're not stopping there. You've got your bachelor's degree, rather. You're not stopping there. Law school is ahead for you, which is incredible.
It is. In March, got accepted into my first choice law school, which was a huge blessing. I was, really excited.
Of course.
They gave me a great scholarship, which was fantastic, and I will be starting there next year. I'm really excited about that. And hopefully I'll be able to graduate with my Juris Doctorate at about 22.
Oh my goodness. And is that sort of the dream for you, is to become a lawyer and work as a lawyer? Very
I
cool.
currently work in a law firm.
Yeah, you're already there.
Yeah, I really love the law. I love learning about it as right now a legal assistant, and I love being exposed to it, and I love helping my attorneys, but the ultimate goal is to be an attorney.
To be your own attorney. I love that. Okay, and Felicia, if families are hearing about this, students are hearing about this, and they're like, oh my goodness, how do I take advantage of something similar? What should they do?
Yeah, I would say first reach out to your high school counselors or whoever you have guiding you on that process, just because with it, they might also be able to make sure, you qualify on our end, because some high schools have their own standards.
Gotcha.
And then you can start looking at the different colleges and universities that you're looking into. So various GPA requirements and also different settings that might fit your schedule. So if your school does allow you to come in late or leave early, but we have a lot of students too who are busy and want to do those online classes like Savannah did. So making sure if they have the in-seat that you want online, some flexibility, that'll work around and make it more feasible for you.
Absolutely. All right. Well, ladies, I am so impressed, first, that this program exists, and secondly, that you took advantage of it to such a high degree. Congratulations on these incredible accomplishments. And Felicia, thanks so much for explaining this. And of course, folks can learn more just by heading to Davenport's website if you are interested in potentially looking at a future like this one, but it is especially impressive. So thank you, ladies, so much for coming in and chatting about this.
Thanks for having us.
We are going to take a quick